Hey mathematicians, let's do our homework. Okay, so our first problem is, let's make that bigger. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Mr. Garcia is a salesman who works on commission. Commission is when you sell something. It's like the way companies get people to want to sell is because they get a tiny piece of whatever the value is they sell. So usually if someone's trying to sell you something, they want to sell you the more expensive option because they make a little bit more money when you buy the more expensive option. And commission is usually done on a percentage base. So Mr. Garcia's commission rate is 7%. He makes 7%, so 7 cents for every dollar or $7 for every $100 if he sells at least $35,000 worth of stuff. So if he sells a lot, he gets a high percentage. If he doesn't sell a lot, if he sells less than $35,000, he makes 5% of that money. So he doesn't make as much money if he doesn't sell as much stuff. So it's why salespeople really are pushing like, hey, don't you want the extra? Don't you want to pay more? Kind of thing. So last month his sales were $15,000. So we've got the more than $35,000. And we've got the less than $35,000. And those are the percentages of commission he makes. $15,000 is less than $35,000, so he's going to make 5% of his sales. His sales were $15,000. So we don't know the part that he makes as commission. That's what we're trying to figure out. We do know the whole value of what he sold was $15,000. And we do know that the percent is 5%. So you need a part, we don't know, out of the whole equals percent out of 100, and you'll be able to solve with that proportion. Belinda surveyed the 6th grade students. She asked them to name their favorite type of book. She found that 3 out of every 8 students preferred to read mysteries. If there are 120 6th grade students that prefer to read mysteries, how many students were surveyed? So 3 out of 8 is a ratio. So that's the part that likes mysteries is 3. And the total number of kids is 8. And then we say, okay, but wait, the part of all the 6th graders that likes mysteries is 120. And the total number of 6th graders is what we need to figure out. So you can set that up as a proportion. You can see I kind of already did set it up like a proportion and solve for your total number of 6th graders. Which of the following statements is true? Remember that fractions are division problems, so 32 divided by 14 can also be written like this. Is that equivalent to 16 out of 8? I don't know, you tell me. If it's true, great, you found your answer. If it's not, try the next one. 52 out of 12, is that the same as 13 out of 4? You need to try simplifying these to see if you are getting the equivalent amount. On the back, Janine and Anna volunteered to run copies of a flyer for Neighborhood Fun Fest. When you run copies, that's like the way you say they like put them through the copy machine and bought a lot of copies printed. Janine ran 2/3 of her copies before she ran out of paper. Anna ran 5/6 of the number of copies that Janine ran. Okay, we already know the number of copies that Janine ran was 2/3 of hers. So we have the problem, what fractional part of the number of copies did Anna run before she ran out of ink? Anna ran 5/6 of the 2/3 that Janine ran. Of is a word that means multiplication. So you're going to multiply those two fractions, probably got to simplify, and then you're going to find a final answer. Number 5, look at the triangle shown below. Angle D is congruent, that means equal to angle E. What is the measure of angle C? Well, you do know that all 3 angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 180 is angle D plus angle E plus our mystery angle C. So you got to solve for that mystery angle. Students are asked to create A situation that would yield data with variability. Remember that variability is more than one, ideally lots, of correct answers. Martha says, what is the area of a square with a side length of s units? Do we know what s is? No. If s is 7, could you find the area of that square? If s is 12, could you find the area of that square? Would it be the same thing? Would it be different? Variables, like s, tend to have variability because variable means something that could change, and variability is when you could have a lot of different answers, they just change depending on the situation. Roberto says, what is the volume of a cube with an edge of 6 units? Ooh, wait a minute. There's only one way to find the volume of a cube. Length times width times height. In a cube, all the sides are the same, and we know that the sides are 6. Now, I'm not asking you to tell me what the answer is to 6 times 6 times 6, but I am asking, is there one correct answer, or are there multiple correct answers to that problem? Because we only want to pick Roberto if there are multiple correct answers. Leroy says, what's the volume of a rectangular prism with a base area of 20 square units? Rectangular prism, length times width times height, or capital B base, the area of the base, times height. If we know that capital B base, the area of the base is 20, times the height will make the volume, is there only one correct answer to that? Or does it kind of depend on what I tell you the height is? Last but not least, Annie says, what is the perimeter of a square with a side length of 8 units? Perimeter, you add up all the sides. Square, you know that all the sides are the same. And you know they're 8. Is that going to give you one correct answer or more than one correct answer? Because we only want to pick the kids where you're like, I don't know, you got to tell me more. It could be this, it could be that. We do not want to pick the kids where you're like, oh, I could figure that out. I know what that answer is. So pick the kids who you're like, could be this, could be that. And then you're done with your homework. That's not true. Tonight, your homework is twofold. Yeah, you're done with your math homework. That was actually the hard part. But you also owe me the ELA. Remember, we passed out your scores. You need to answer questions 3 and questions 4 about what you got, what your goals are, and you need to get it signed by a parent. Then you're done with your homework.